Good evening. I'm Luann Sorrell. We start with big breaking news tonight. Fox 35 questioning the coronavirus numbers and uncovering a shocking revelation. A man dies in a motorcycle crash, but his death listed as a coronavirus death.
What's really happening? What's really good? Y'all know who it is. The handsome Hebrew, your boy Lil Ryan Mac, and I am back. Listen, I play a little bit of the video for you so you can know what we're about to get into, and I'm pretty sure many of you, and I mean many of you, have heard about this story. This is another example of them cooking the books, adding things to the COVID death count that shouldn't be added to it. This individual died from a motorcycle accident, so why was it added? And that's the question we need to be asking these so-called experts as well. Shout out to Fox 35 Orlando for dropping this exclusive video showing what real journalism is. So let's get into this video, guys, and remember, how many people are they also doing this to or with? They are definitely cooking the books. Let's watch together, learn a little bit more. Let's go.
Fox 35 News investigating. We dug through the data, and then we asked the questions. Fox 35's Danielle Lama joins us live from Orange County tonight. Danielle, how are officials explaining this?
Well, Charles, they really haven't given us much of an explanation at this point. The way we found out is I was asking the county health officer about 2 coronavirus deaths involving people in their 20s and whether they had any underlying conditions. Then one of his answers surprised us.
So in other words, seeing some individuals in their 20s on this death count sparked some concerns, had them cogwheels moving, set up some alarm bells, because it's very rare, and they know this as well, to see somebody in their 20s dying from COVID. So once they noted this, they had to dig a little bit deeper in there, because we all know as well, the only people really affected and dying from this is older people with underlying health issues, and this is just facts. I'm not going to spread any fear, I'm just going to bring you the facts. Let's continue.
The first one didn't have any. He died in a motorcycle accident.
New questions tonight about the accuracy of the state's coronavirus death numbers.
The question is, why was the death added in the first place? If this so-called disease is as deadly as they say it is, or trying to make it out to be, there would be no reason for them to be fudging the numbers and adding this to the death count when it really shouldn't.
I don't think so. I have to double check. We were arguing. We were discussing and trying to argue with the state. Not because of the numbers. I mean, it's 100. It's not make any difference if it's 99. Yeah. But the validity, that the fact that the individual didn't die from COVID-19, died in a crash. But you can actually argue that it could have been the COVID-19 that caused him to crash.
How, Sway? How could COVID actually be the reason for the cause of death? I got a question, right? So y'all seen the memes about nowadays when everybody dies, it's a COVID death. So let's say this dude doing wheelies on a motorcycle, he pulls up to a red light, boom. He brings it down, he just chilling. And there's a car behind him who doesn't stop and hits him from the back, bow. Now this man is dead. How could COVID have any association with that accident? Was he doing a wheelie, or was he driving his motorcycle and COVID came out the blue like a deer and he hit COVID and it caused the motorcycle to crash and lose control? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how, Sway. How?
So I don't know the conclusion of that one.
We looked into it, and there are still 2 people in their 20s on Orange County's data list for COVID deaths. So is this a contradiction to how the state says it's counting deaths? The Florida Department of Health sending Fox 35 a statement saying a COVID death is determined if COVID-19 is listed as the immediate or underlying cause of death, or listed as one of the significant conditions contributing to death, or if there's a confirmed COVID-19 infection from a lab test and the cause of death doesn't meet exclusion criteria like trauma, suicide, homicide, overdose, motor vehicle accident, etc.
But the issue and the problem that I'm having, and a lot of people such as myself and others are having, is that you did include a motor vehicle accident in a death count. This is the whole purpose of the story, sir. I don't know if you lost or not.
The only thing that I could say to people is that the data that I'm providing you with is the data that we consume from the state, and we are offering you to the best data that we have.
But the data that you have, sir, is not good enough.
And Dr. Pino tells us that the medical examiner's office has to sign off on all COVID-19 deaths, We also reached out to that office and have not heard back. Reporting live in Orlando, Danielle Lama, Fox 35 News.
See, this is why people got to wake up and understand and really start thinking logically and critically. You understand me? They're getting ready to institute curfews in Florida based off this faulty, deceitful data. Y'all, we got to wake up and understand these people are cooking the books. Cooking the books, burning the books. They're trying to increase the numbers of cases and deaths because you know why? They're using this as medical tyranny to slowly rip away our freedoms. They've already locked us down once. Now they're mandatory mandating face masks for people to wear. Cut off your oxygen supply, which is so ridiculous. And I don't understand it, and I refuse to wear one. I refuse it. I refuse it. But they're getting ready to implement curfews, may even lock down again. They don't want to let kids go back to school, and it's all based off faulty data, deceitful data. I think it was in Collin County, I believe, in Texas. They basically saying if you die, that's counted as a COVID death for anything, and they're going to count cases. Let's say somebody tested positive. There was around 10 people, but those 10 people didn't get tested, they're not sick. They can still count those 10 people that one quote-unquote positive person was around as a case. That's not deceitful. That's not cooking the books. It's time for everybody to wake up and realize that they are using this to take away our freedoms, nothing more, nothing less. But what do y'all think of the story? Comment down below. Like I said, I'm going to leave the full link to the story in the description section down below. But don't forget to comment down below. Like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it. Share, subscribe to that cool stuff I do for everybody else. Do it for the boy one time. You know who it is, the handsome Hebrew. Your boy Lil Riot Mac. And I'm out.